The pyramid complex in Giza is one of the oldest and most mysterious architectural monuments of the ancient world, which not only inspires admiration, but also raises many questions. The majestic pyramids of Cheops, Khafre, and Menkaure, as well as the Sphinx guarding them, testify to the incredible building skills of the ancient Egyptians. However, researchers still cannot give a definitive answer to the question of how these structures were built, and most importantly, for what purpose. Could the Egyptians have created such complex structures on their own, or did they have help from more advanced civilizations? In the 20th century, astronomer Robert Bauval put forward the theory that the location of the three pyramids at Giza corresponds to the position of three stars in the constellation Orion. According to his research, the location of these structures perfectly coincides with the position of Orion's belt as it was more than 10,000 years ago. This suggests that the ancient Egyptians may have had knowledge of the starry sky far ahead of their time, or that the pyramids were important not only for earthly civilization but could also be a sign for extraterrestrial visitors. In 2024, an international team of researchers led by astronomers from Egypt and the United States set out on an expedition to study in detail the connection between the architecture of the pyramids and the star systems. They used the latest technologies, including spectroscopy, high-frequency detectors, and drones with laser scanners, to determine the presence of any energy fields or radiation that could indicate special properties of the site. The researchers found that the stones of the Cheops pyramid have unusual magnetic properties, suggesting that the pyramid could be part of a specific energy system. In addition, they found the presence of weak electromagnetic radiation, which indicated that the pyramids could be used to generate or store energy. The archaeological findings inside the Cheops pyramid are even more interesting. In the main corridor and in the so-called King's Room, researchers using the latest laser technology found traces of unknown substances that have not yet been identified. According to some experts, these substances may be remnants of ancient rituals, but there are also suggestions that they could be part of mechanisms designed to communicate or interact with alien civilizations. The location of the pyramids in Giza, their perfect symmetry and orientation to certain points in the starry sky, reinforce the idea that these structures could have been created not only to worship the gods, but also to communicate with other worlds. In addition, several unusual passageways were found leading to unknown chambers that could have been hidden repositories of artifacts or places for secret rites. One of the most surprising theories is the assumption that the Giza complex could serve as a kind of portal or gateway to pass between worlds. According to this theory, the pyramids and their secret chambers created a certain magnetic field or resonant frequency that could interact with the energies of the universe. Some researchers, in particular physicists who study quantum mechanics, suggest that the pyramids could be used to create tunnels or passages that would connect us to other dimensions, or even allow us to travel in space. This assumption seems like science fiction, but the myths and legends of the ancient Egyptians do indeed mention places that served as a link between the world of the living and the realm of the gods. According to some ancient texts, such gateways could only be accessible to a select few who had special knowledge and had undergone initiation rituals. In Egyptian mythology, the gods Ra and Osiris are often described as those who came from the stars. According to some texts, the gods came down to earth to teach the Egyptians science and crafts. Ancient frescoes and engravings found in the Temple of Seti in Abydos depict symbols that look remarkably similar to modern aircraft and submarines. While many have explained these images as a coincidence, other researchers believe that they are indicative of the ancient Egyptians' knowledge of technologies that were provided to them by visitors from other worlds. Some of these images are so detailed that it is hard to imagine how they could have been created without knowledge of mechanics or aerodynamics. In 2024, a group of archaeologists found a tablet with hieroglyphs describing stargates and fiery beings that could pass through them in one of the smaller temples near Giza. According to Egyptologists, this text is a kind of legend about fire gods who descended from heaven. Researchers believe that this confirms the theory of the Stargate and ask the question, What if the pyramids were created not only for the eternal rest of the pharaohs, but also for storing knowledge or even for contact with space? These stargates could have served as a means of communication or even a place through which information from other worlds could be received. Some researchers suggest that the ancient Egyptians may have performed rituals that allowed them to enter altered states of consciousness and thus communicate with gods or beings from other dimensions. Could the pyramids at Giza be part of an ancient technology that allowed the Egyptians to communicate with other civilizations or dimensions? And did the ancient Egyptians really have the kind of knowledge that they could only receive from alien teachers? Modern science still does not have definitive answers to these questions, but new findings are raising more and more questions about the secrets that the Giza complex hides. Despite numerous studies, many aspects of the construction of the pyramids and their purpose remain unknown. Modern technologies such as laser scanning and isotope analysis are opening up new opportunities to study these amazing structures, but also raising new mysteries. The pyramid complex at Giza continues to be a symbol of the grandeur and mystery of an ancient civilization that may have known more about the world and the cosmos than we can imagine. The pyramid complex at Giza is one of the oldest architectural monuments in the ancient world, which is not only fascinating, but also raises numerous questions. The pyramids of Cheops, Khafre, and Menkaure, as well as the Sphinx, testify to the incredible building skills of the ancient Egyptians. However, researchers still cannot give a definitive answer to the question of how these structures were built, and most importantly, for what purpose. Could the Egyptians have created such complex structures on their own? Or perhaps they were assisted by a more advanced civilization? In the 20th century, astronomer Robert Bauval proposed a theory that the location of the three pyramids at Giza corresponds to the position of three stars in the constellation Orion. According to his research, the location of these structures coincides with the position of Orion's belt, as it was more than 10,000 years ago. This suggests that the ancient Egyptians may have had knowledge of the starry sky that was far ahead of their time. In 2024, an international team of researchers set out on an expedition to study the relationship between pyramid architecture and star systems. They used the latest technologies, including spectroscopy and drones with laser scanners, to determine if there were energy fields or radiation that could indicate special properties of the site. Research has shown that the stones of the Cheops pyramid have unusual magnetic properties, suggesting that the pyramids may have been used to store energy. Even more interesting are the archaeological finds inside the Cheops pyramid. Researchers found traces of unknown substances in the main corridor in the king's room. According to some experts, these substances may be remnants of ancient rituals or part of mechanisms designed to interact with alien civilizations. In addition, they found several unusual passages leading to unknown chambers that could be storage facilities for artifacts or places for secret rituals. One theory suggests that the Giza complex could have served as a gateway to the transition between worlds. According to this theory, the pyramids created a magnetic field or resonant frequency that interacted with the energies of the universe. Some researchers, including physicists, suggest that the pyramids could be used to create tunnels or passages to communicate with other dimensions. This assumption looks like science fiction, but the myths of the ancient Egyptians do contain references to places that served as a link between the world of the living and the realm of the gods. In Egyptian mythology, the gods Ra and Osiris are often described as those who came from the stars. According to some texts, the gods came down to earth to teach the Egyptians science and crafts. The murals found in the Seti Temple in Abydos depict symbols that look remarkably similar to modern aircraft and submarines. While many have explained these images as coincidence, others believe that they are evidence of ancient Egyptian knowledge of technologies provided by visitors from other worlds. In 2024, a group of archaeologists found a tablet in one of the smaller temples with hieroglyphs describing stargates and fire creatures. The researchers believe that this confirms the theory of the Stargate, and ask the question, what if the pyramids were created not only for the eternal peace of the pharaohs, but also for contact with the cosmos. These stargates could have served as a means of communication, or a place through which information from other worlds could be received. Could the pyramids at Giza be part of an ancient technology that allowed the Egyptians to communicate with other civilizations? Modern science still does not have definitive answers to these questions, but new findings are raising more and more questions about the secrets that the Giza complex hides. Despite numerous studies, many aspects of the construction of the pyramids and their purpose remain unknown. Recent research has also shown that there is an extensive system of underground tunnels and chambers beneath the pyramid complex. Some of these tunnels are so narrow that they can only be passed by robots. In the middle of one of the chambers, traces of metal were found, which is not typical of other artifacts of that era. This discovery again fueled speculation about the presence of technologies that were ahead of their time. Thus, the question of how and for what purpose the pyramids at Giza were built remains open. Are they just an embodiment of the greatness and religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians, or are they also evidence of advanced technology? The Giza complex remains one of the most mysterious monuments on our planet, and ongoing research may help us unravel its secrets. Easter Island has always been surrounded by mysteries, especially regarding possible contact with extraterrestrial civilizations or the preservation of hidden technologies from ancient cultures. Huge stone statues, known as moai, are located throughout the island, silently watching the ocean with their elongated faces. Their huge heads, blank eyes, and static presence remain frozen witnesses to past events, a source of wonder and fascination for modern researchers. How could a small community with limited technological means create such massive statues? And what exactly was the source of technological and cultural growth on this remote island? Many researchers suggest that the moai could have been created with the help of knowledge that did not belong to the inhabitants of Easter Island. In 2024, archaeologists discovered several manuscripts with symbols resembling pictographs on the island's mysterious stones. Since these inscriptions remain unknown to this day and have no analogues among other ancient languages, it has been suggested that they are of alien origin or connected to lost, highly developed cultures. This discovery has aroused great interest in the scientific community, as the symbols may indicate the existence of a civilization with a higher level of knowledge than could be expected from an isolated island. These theories are supported by evidence from ancient Polynesian legends, which mention people of the stars who came to Earth to pass on their knowledge. According to the myths, they had extraordinary powers and brought new knowledge to the locals, including how to build moai. Moreover, the texts say that these guests had a special way of moving heavy objects, using the power that came from their hands, without the use of any tools. The researchers believe that this could be a metaphor describing the technology of levitation, which allowed stone statues to be moved without physical effort, or it could be knowledge that went beyond human understanding at the time. Experts also believe that an ancient civilization could have existed on Easter Island, which possessed knowledge lost to humanity. Archaeologists have discovered traces of ancient structures under the island's surface. For example, partially flooded tunnels and underground chambers carved into the stone, which were created with incredible precision, were found on one of the hills. Some researchers suggest that these could have been workshops or even storage facilities for the knowledge and technology used to create the moai. In a study published in the first half of 2024, scientists from the University of Cambridge put forward a new hypothesis that Easter Island could have used an energy source unknown to other cultures of the time. During the excavations, stone tools with low levels of radioactivity were discovered, hinting at the possible use of crystal energy or other sources that could have enabled outstanding achievements. This discovery raised new questions, as no known Easter Island technology allowed stone to be worked with such precision and speed. Perhaps the islanders possessed knowledge that exceeded the technological achievements of their time. The location of the island itself adds to the mystery. The Rapa Nui people, the inhabitants of Easter Island, were thousands of kilometers away from the nearest islands, and there were no other cultures around them with which they could have contact. However, the Rapa Nui culture and lifestyle have some unique features that suggest the influence of extraterrestrial forces. The theory of extraterrestrial influence on the inhabitants of Easter Island is particularly popular among those who believe that similar contacts could have occurred in different parts of the world, passing on knowledge and technology to ancient cultures. Another interesting detail concerns the unique location of the moai. The stone statues are arranged in such a way that they all face the island, as if they were protecting or guarding something. According to some versions, these statues were a kind of guardians who were supposed to protect the island from threats. Some believe that it could have been an energetic or mystical defense system created to keep certain powers or knowledge on the island. This theory becomes even more interesting given the discovery of underground structures on the island that may be the remains of ancient knowledge repositories or even structures associated with rituals aimed at connecting with other worlds. Due to the location of Easter Island and its isolation, the question of possible contacts with external civilizations becomes even more intriguing. The Rapa Nui people had unique technologies for stone processing and monumental structures, which gave rise to theories about their connection with ancient aliens or highly developed civilizations, whose knowledge could have been lost for many centuries. The underground tunnels and chambers that remain on the island may not only be remnants of culture, but also evidence of the use of knowledge that exceeded the capabilities of most ancient peoples. The question of technology or possible contact with extraterrestrial civilizations in relation to Easter Island still remains unresolved. Could the Rapa Nui really have possessed knowledge that exceeded the capabilities of humanity at the time? Or did they receive this knowledge from mysterious visitors, or from a forgotten civilization whose traces have been lost in history? Easter Island remains a fascinating mystery for archaeologists, anthropologists, and truth seekers from all over the world. Even today, we have more questions than answers when it comes to possible links between the Rapa Nui and extraterrestrial civilizations or the storage of ancient technology. Modern researchers hope that new excavations and studies will help reveal more details about the nature of this knowledge and technology. But one thing is for sure, this small piece of land in the middle of the ocean continues to capture the attention and imagination of modern humanity. Will we ever be able to unravel all the secrets of Easter Island, or will they remain for us only as vague traces of a majestic past that provokes endless discussions and speculation?